You're listening to Coco's Italian Market Podcast. I'm here with Chuck Cinelli, and today he's going to teach me about bocce. Now, I know pretty much absolutely nothing about the game other than I saw it in the film A Year in Provence. Now, is this an Italian game, or is it...
I think traditionally an Italian game, but it's popular in France and professionally played in France and Spain and Italy.
Okay. First of all, can you tell us how many people do we need to play the game?
At least, well, 2 people. I mean, you can practice by yourself like on a pool table. You have the red team and the green team. There's 4 balls on each side. So you want at least 2 people, or there could be 2 teams of 2, or you could have 8 people and everyone gets a throw.
And so what is the main goal?
Well, you throw a little white ball called the Polina just halfway down the court, and you want to get your balls as close to the Polina as you can.
Okay. So let's set up a scenario. Say we're starting the game. I throw the Polino halfway, and then...
Yeah, you should only throw it halfway down the court. That's right, because part of the strategy is to use the rest of the court. You might be hitting the white ball down the court, and you don't want to go too far down, because if you hit the back wall, that ball cannot point. Halfway down the court doesn't look like it's all that challenging, but make it challenging by hitting the white ball as you go.
Sometimes less is more, I notice.
Yeah, well, it's not that easy either.
All right. Okay. And I also noticed that there was a couple broken balls.
Yeah.
That some people go nuts.
Yeah, they think it's bowling. I grew up in an Italian community. I had no idea. When I moved down here, no one knew how to play bocce, but yeah, people will whip them, and it's definitely not that kind of game.
Okay, so I throw the Polina halfway down the court. What happens next?
Well, then you'll throw, for example, let's say you're the red team. So then you throw your red ball as close as you can to the Polina.
Okay, so I threw the white ball, and then I get to throw the red ball also. Okay.
And then I'll throw the green ball, and I'll try to get as close.
Okay.
Now, there's 2 ways to play. We can alternate red, green, red, green, red, green. But if you do tournament style, whoever's closer is considered inside. Whoever's not closer is considered on the outside. So the outside opponent will continue to throw until they're on the inside.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you throw 1 and you're still closer. I could throw all 4 on mine and still never be closer. So now, not only did you win, you have 3 more balls to throw to try to get up to 4 points.
At the market, you have a scoreboard. Now, how do you calculate the points?
Okay, so for example, say the red ball is closer to the white ball, then that would get the point.
Like and 1 point?
1 point. So only 1 team can point per round. So in this example, red gets the point. Now you can get up to 4 points. So the next ball that's closest, if that one is red, then red's going to get 2 points. If the next ball closest to the Polina is a red ball, and so on, they would get the 3rd point and the 4th point. But let's say, the red ball gets the 1st point, the red ball gets the 2nd point, then the next closest is the green ball. That means that stops the point accumulation. So that means red gets 2 points.
For that round.
You can play up to 7. Let's say you're waiting for a table, just play till your table's ready. Play till 11. You can play where you have to win by 2. You can play up to 21. However you want to do it.
Okay, so let me set up a scenario for you. The other night I was playing against this poser, and I was destroying him. All my balls were on top of the Polina, and his were way out in left field. What kind of miracle could have brought him back?
So since all of his balls are, as you said, in left field, he would then, with the last ball, try to hit the Polina over towards his balls and then point that way. You could potentially get 4 points. You can do an underhand high throw with a backhand so that it lands right in front of the ball and pops it over. That's if you're really good. You have to know your skill level and what percentage of the time you make shots like that, and that will help you determine if you're going to do those kinds of shots or how safe you're going to play. Of course, if you're way behind in the points, you have to take more chances. And we call this, when you manipulate the white ball, spocking. Yeah, you can intentionally, say, throw all your balls like to left field, like your opponent did, and then if he knows his skill level is high enough, he can then pop the white ball over to the remainder of his balls.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I have seen on the TV some of these professionals, or at least better players, use some really dynamic moves. Can you talk about some of the more difficult shots that some of these guys pull off?
There's blocking, banking.
Okay, you said the words blocking.
Yeah, you set up some blockers, in front of the Polina. Like say you got your ball is very close to the Polina, and then the next ball, you want to throw just right in front of the Polina. You're not doing a setup, you're just setting up blocks. That makes it obviously harder for your opponent, because now he either has to bank off a wall or has to spock your ball. or spock the Polina over towards his balls.
Okay, so we're going to look at some scenes, and you're going to tell us about what's going on, right?
Okay. So in this situation, we're playing inside-outside, and the red ball goes first. Great shot. Obviously, they're on the inside. So now it's the green ball wants to get on the inside. Close, but they're on the outside, so they keep throwing. And almost had a little spin on that one. Let's see. Nope. So the fourth ball. Well, the fourth ball is a great shot. Green is now on the inside, but they exhausted all their balls. They are pointing right now. Now it's up to red to spock or knock the green ball away to try to get as many points as possible. Now on this situation, green is on the inside, so red is going to throw. And red spocked the green ball and knocked it to 2 points. Now we're doing a bank shot, which was not really successful. And one strategy is to try to get as close as you can to riding down the rail. Like say you have just a couple balls left, you want to play it safe, knock the white ball to the rail, and then just slide your balls down the rail. That's very easy. Okay, in this situation we're going red, green, red, green. Green is closer to the Polina. Now we're setting up a blocker. Now it's red's turn. Missed. And green sets up another blocker. Let's see what red does. Oh, not too good today. And now green can get 4 points because the first 4 balls that are closest are green. And that's the maximum amount of points, obviously. Okay, in this situation, red goes first. And green is trying to set up so that it can point after. Let's see how successful we are. Red puts a blocker there. So green knocks it down a little further. I can see what the situation is. Red does another blocker. And green sets up another one. It's going to try to spock the white ball over into the corner. Let's see what happens. And yep, green does it. So in this situation, it looks like green had gotten 2 points. Here, green knocked the red ball all the way to the back wall. If it hits the back wall, that ball cannot point. So if red was to spock the white ball closer to that ball still cannot point, so do not hit the back wall.
Now you mentioned there's a strategy to balance.
Oh, that's a joke. People always like, how do you play bocce? I say, well, you left-handed or right-handed? And I'm right-handed. I say, well, you hold your drink in your left hand. You throw the ball in your right hand. So it's kind of like my first rule of bocce.
Do you think the drinking enhances the game or makes it more challenging?
Well, it's a social game. It's great, with your friends or on a date. It's so easy to play, and the ladies love it, and it's the kids love it. I mean, growing up at the Laziel, the Italian club in my hometown, they had 2 bocce courts. Okay. So a lot of red wine.
So at Coco's Italian Market, you have bocce courts?
Yeah, we have 2 bocce courts. They're lighted. They're available for free. Let's see, and also perfectly manicured because we have AstroTurf.
Okay, so I don't have a bocce court at home, and most of my friends don't either. What if we wanted to play at home or other places, and we didn't want to come to your market? Say I was mad at you.
Yeah, you can play it anywhere, and the terrain doesn't have to be level, because that can be part of. Or you can maybe play all around the house. Traditionally, it's played on a mixture of sand and oyster shells, crushed oyster shell. That's how they do it, and I'm not sure exactly what the mixture is. Of course, obviously, again, we have AstroTurf. But you can buy different bocce balls and at different weights. Now, we use the tournament bocce balls. Those are the heaviest ones, and the ones that are supposed to be perfectly round. And then, say at Target or Walmart, you can purchase the Spalding brand, and they're maybe $30, and they are they're just perfect for tooling around. You don't have to worry about it. For $30, you're having a great time.
So you mentioned the shell and the sand, so we could play these on the beach.
Well, actually, there is a special bocce set for the beach. It's lighter, and it actually rolls on the beach. So you can't really use the traditional heavy ones on the beach. I mean, you can, but they do make them for the beach. And they actually make them glow-in-the-dark ones now, too.
A lot of my friends have kids. What if they wanted to play with their children?
Yeah, the bocce balls can be really heavy, so they do have a youth set, which fits around their hand, and even for toddlers, like for my daughter, who's a year old now, I've got the cloth set.
So if I really get into bocce and I want to play with folks who are more serious, in Middle Tennessee, what could I do about that?
Well, actually, Tim, there are 4 Italian groups, believe it or not, in Nashville. And there's the Amerigo Vespucci Society, and you can find them under italiansinnashville.org. And Patty Nelson does a great job with her group. She teaches Italian, well, how to speak Italian. And you can find her at italianforfun.com. And we have the Viva Italia, and they help run the Meetup group, which is another group, and that is, you go to meetup.com, type in Italian, and you'll see 300 Italiophiles. And so I'm not sure how many are interested in bocce, but it's at least there's 300 people who are interested in Italian.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And do you know the history of how long people have been playing with it?
No, I really don't. And I'm told it got popular again when Garibaldi united Italy. That he was an avid player of bocce, and as he conquered Italy, I suppose he left bocce balls everywhere.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you for explaining the game. Can you give us the address?
Yeah, we're on the corner of 51st and Charlotte Pike, and we're behind the Regions Bank that has that really funky gold dome. Also, you can get off at 40. We're right on the interstate, right at the exit where it's 51st.
And the phone number?
615-783-0114.
And the website?
www.italianmarket.biz, B-I-Z.
Okay, thank you much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Enjoy.